The two significant contributors for the first decade of Weird Tales, 1923 to 1933, were both haunted and reclusive men. Lovecraft hides from the outside world in the northeastern regions of the United States. Well, the other great Weird Tales writer, Clark Ashton Smith, hides in the California woodlands. Now, Smith is around from 1893 to 1960-61. Smith often sets his stories in imaginary lands and mythical kingdoms, and likes using gibberish in his titles. For example, The Maze of Maldweeb, The Weird of Azul with Kagan. This is 1932. Maldweeb's 1938. The Vaults of Uvimbis. This is 1932. Smith is a poet, pulp fictioneer, and weird artist, and he's really the second great writer for Weird Tales magazine. He shares Lovecraft's legendary stature. Now, Smith, at the age of 18, this is in 1912, hits the peak of his literary fame as a poet. The Star Treader and Other Poems. This is in 1912. You also have Odes and Sonnets, 1918. Ebony and Crystal, 1922. One of Smith's great poems, The Hashish Eater. This long poem is one of the most imaginative orgies in English literature. Smith's cosmic astronomical imagery in Star Treader, the poem, is transmuted into prose by Jack London in his novel Star Rover, 1915. London's novel is unquestionably influenced by Smith's poems. Smith's short stories cover vast stretches of time. Humanity is an insignificant episode in the cosmic panorama. For example, you have Ubo Slatha. This is 1933. Life on Earth as a crawling primal ooze. The concept of universal slime. Lovecraft held Smith in awe and considered Smith the world's greatest writer. Smith is in fact self-educated, just like Lovecraft. He reads the dictionary and the Encyclopedia Britannica several times and remembers it all. Smith develops an elaborate prose style that uses rare and curious words. There's lavish plays of language in Smith's prose. Smith creates his own mythos in over 20 stories that are... this mythos is eschatological in nature. Most of these stories take place during the last days of Earth, under a blackened sun. There's a massive continent, Zotek. Necromancers and magicians worship a demon god called Slath-Hugaga. The prose is gruesome, strange, and sensual. It's a mixture of the gruesome, the strange, the sensual. You have stories like The Vaults of Yumvimbis, 1932, The Dweller in the Gulf, 1933, The Colossus of Yurgarn, 1934, The Empire of the Necromancers, 1932, and The Seed of the Sepulchre, 1933. Smith is, in fact, a devoted chronicler of grisly death and doom. He uses fabulous forms, colors, and sounds in his descriptions. His characters are out of space and out of time. Now, Lovecraft and Smith trade off old gods and cosmic mythos. Smith has his Tastul Gugugal, and Lovecraft has his Cthulhu and Yog-Sothoth. Smith is also an artist. He creates a huge number of paintings and drawings, not to mention carvings, on weird themes. His watercolors and crayons are genuinely fascinating artwork. These drawings and paintings are based on Smith's own stories as well as Lovecraft's work. As I mentioned, Smith also carves many bizarre heads using soft stones from the California foothills. He carves Dagon. He carves Cthulhu. He carves miscellaneous demons and goblins. Now, these sculptures are among the most interesting weird art ever. They evoke the titanic heads of Easter Island, but you can grip them easily in one hand. They fit right in the palm of your hand. Smith uses elaborate style and a mocking tone in his fiction. Smith's writing is greatly original. The scope of his literary art is amazing. Sheer grotesqueness, the sheer grotesqueness of his conceptions are a major influence on Lovecraft's work. Now, let's get back to the marriage with Lovecraft.